which seems relevant. So you can see why non-crazy people would wonder about what really happened. And of course, many have wondered. In 1976, long forgotten, the House of Representatives impaneled a special committee to reinvestigate the JFK assassination. Their bipartisan conclusion? Jack Kennedy was almost certainly murdered as the result of a conspiracy. But the question is, a conspiracy by whom? Well, the obvious suspect would be the CIA. Why else would the agency withhold critical evidence from investigators? Is there a benign explanation for that, for maintaining this level of secrecy for this many years? Not that we're aware of. And it is illegal. In 1992, Congress passed the President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act. That act mandated full disclosure of all documents by 2017, 54 years after JFK was killed. The last administration promised to comply fully with that law, but under intense pressure from CIA Director Mike Pompeo, withheld in the end thousands of pages of CIA documents. Today, this afternoon, the Biden administration did exactly the same thing. That would be thousands of pages of documents after nearly 60 years, after the death of every single person involved. But we still can't see them. Clearly, it's not to protect any person. They're all dead. It's to protect an institution. But why? Well, today we decided to find out. We spoke to someone who had access to these still hidden CIA documents. The person was deeply familiar with what they contain. We asked this person directly, did the CIA have a hand in the murder of John F. Kennedy, an American president? And here's the reply we received verbatim. Quote, the answer is yes. I believe they were involved. It's a whole different country from what we thought it was. It's all fake.
Jesus.
It's hard to imagine a more jarring response than that. Again, this is not a, quote, conspiracy theorist that we spoke to. Not even close. This is someone with direct knowledge of the information that once again is being withheld from the American public. And the answer we received was unequivocal. Yes, the CIA was involved in the assassination of the president.
Wow.
Now, some people will not be
Bro.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
97% of the documents they said have now been released. I think as of this time, like whatever, yesterday or something, and people are starting to look through those. They don't expect to find anything in those because there's still
they've kept
thousands of documents.
Well, I would definitely not let people read the ones that would be looking bad. I mean, that's the only explanation. Why can't we read them? They must be bad. They can't be good. Well, they say a lot of great things about the CIA, and we're pretty humble. I mean, we don't want that.
That's going to cause chaos. That's why. The whole place, the country's going to fucking riot.
How will they ever find out? If they're able to keep shit from us, how will they ever find out? Even though there's been laws passed and, rulings that they're supposed to release it in 2017. Like, what? But why not? Like, what are you doing? What's happening? And they don't have to explain. That's what's crazy. It's like, imagine if you were being investigated by the police and they said, hey, Brian, why do you have $2 million in cash and 100 pounds of cocaine? And you're like, I can't let you know about that. That stuff, I keep that from you. So you can look into my bank account, and most of that money's from gifts. People give me gifts. I'm real friendly. What? Someone said you definitely sold coke. No. I mean, someone is saying they definitely were involved in the killing, and the CIA is like, we don't have anything to say.
So I'm surprised Trump didn't take that out. You know what I mean? And show everybody. It seems like something he would do.
You ever heard Putin talk about American presidents? Mm-mm. It's very interesting. He does this. He has this conversation where they're talking about Trump. I believe it was while Trump was running for office, and he was essentially saying Trump is a smart guy, but all these ideas that he has, they'll never work. He said, I've sat through 2 different presidents. He's like, this is what happens. I think he said 3 presidents. He goes, this is what happens. You have all these ideas, and then these men with the dark suits show up, and they tell you how the country's run. Like, see if you can find that video, because it's very interesting. Because it's Putin explaining why no one ever follows through on their promises. No one does. Everyone running for office, they have all these grand ideas. I'm going to let all the potheads out of jail, and I'm going to make this legal.
What happened to that?
Well, there was no one in jail for possession. That idea that people are in jail, federal prison rather, excuse me. There's no one in prison for possession.
I
People,
see what you're
the idea that people were going to be released from federal position. The idea that people were going to be released from federal prison with marijuana possession charges. There's no one in federal prison with marijuana possession charges. The people in jail are all in for distribution and growing, and they're in there for money laundering. They're drug dealers. The people that are in federal prison, it's because marijuana is illegal. They shouldn't be in jail, for sure. But they're not in jail or in prison because they had possession. They were selling it. Even people that are in federal prison or state prisons, like that, they should be released. This fucking, this Brittany Griner thing, people are not making enough about how many people are in jail for marijuana in this country. It's great that they got her out. It's not great that they had to give up a fucking horrible arms dealer to get her out. It's not great that we left behind that Marine, but it's great that they got her out. She shouldn't be in jail for weed. Everybody agrees to that. But why are these people in our country in jail? There's thousands of people in jail for marijuana-related charges.
Remember Tommy Chong? How silly is that?
Dude, all he did was sell bongs.
Yeah.
But they were going to imprison his family. Mm-hmm. And he had to step up, and he's a real man. And he did step up. He just had to go to jail, and then he couldn't smoke weed for a long time after that, too. And now it's legal in California.
Now you can buy a bong on Amazon.
I think the bongs are being sold in other states, though. I think it was one of them deals where it was like they were selling them in Florida or something.
Crossing the line or crossing the border.
Right, which you can't do. You got to make people fly out to California and get them.
Yeah.
What does this say? Yeah, here, his says, play this. Yeah, I'll read it. He says, I've communicated with one U.S. president, with the second and the third. Presidents come and go, but the politics remain the same. Do you know why that is? Because the bureaucracy has a lot of power. So a person is elected, he comes with his ideas, then the people with the briefcases come to visit him, well-dressed in dark suits, kind of like mine, except instead of a red or black red tie, it's a black or navy. And then they explain what to do, and the whole rhetoric changes, you see? This happens from one administration to the next. And he's right. And that's probably what it is. And that's why there's thousands of documents that can't be released. Because we got to pretend. Mm-hmm. That's why they're going to run Biden again in 2024. Fucking wheel him out there. We're going to make him win. We're going to make Trump look like such a piece of shit. Maybe someone from the CIA convinced Trump to sell those NFTs. Mr. Trump, what I think you should do is say you're the greatest president ever. Better than Lincoln, better than Washington. You think? Should I say that? Yeah, go say it. Go say it. Like, if there was somebody on his team that was like a CIA mole, like someone who had got his trust